Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Performance E Streaming. My name is Carl Wilkinson Withy, and we are here today at Phoenix for round 4 of the ANZCAR, the truck series here. We are joined up here in the booth tonight by Mr. Mark Johansson. Mark, how you going, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Good to be here at Phoenix. Be a bit of an interesting one. We've seen some guys lose traction here tonight and put it into the outside wall fairly heavily. So it's going to be interesting to see who can get this track under control tonight.
Absolutely, a very tricky track indeed, and the cars are just getting ready to grid up. So what we'll do is, with no further ado, we will start by going through the starting order for tonight's grid. Taking pole position tonight is Jason Martin next to Ruben Phelps. On row number 2, we have JCW with Stevie Dubb. Row number 3 sees Shane Bowen lining up next to Lachlan Urquio. Row number 4, we've got Barry Neal and Josh Micklemore. Row 5 is Riley Curtis with Dave Douglas. On the 6th row is Norman Clark with Cade Donnelly. Row number 7, we have Chris Finley with Troy Davidson. On the 8th row is Matty Hunter with Brad Fenley. Row number 9 sees Noddy Tompkins and Matthew Beale lining up next to each other. Row 10, we got Greg Shelton and Nigel Patton. And at the back on row 11, we have Maxi Marshall rounding out the field tonight, getting ready for this race. Just quickly, we'll glance towards conditions and the track. Of course, we are here at Phoenix. Pace car is about to come in, so we will be getting ready for the start as they head down the long back straight here, getting ready to come in to the start line here. It's a long old journey down at this back straight, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, it's definitely a long way down now. It's the new configuration. So yeah, it's a bit daunting.
Yes, indeed. They're coming round now to take the start for this round number 4, and away they go. Micklemore just gets a little bit caught out there as they get away, but the cars are coming in as they chug across the dogleg and get ready to head into turn 1 for the first time tonight, into the tricky turn 2 section of the track. They come, got to watch out as the cars will be a little bit squiggly here on the start. Very easy to make a mistake in this early stage as the tyres are getting up to temperature.
Yeah, we've heard the guys say through practice and qualifying that it's very slippery once you get down low. So it's going to have to be very careful and easy as you go for these first couple of laps until the tyres get some heat into them.
Yeah, got to get those tyres working at Phoenix. There's plenty of heat at this track though. As we're saying, it's not the warmest we've seen Phoenix, but it's definitely not cool out there.
No, definitely not. And we can see the 21 of Jason Martin up on that high line already. So he's was one that we seen go for a little slip slide in the warm-up session. And Stevie Dubb up there nice and early. So keep an eye on that DPR truck, 98.
JCW there just getting a little bit loose, breaking traction. That cost him a lot of momentum. Just saw the smoke through his tyres, but he's managed to keep that truck back on track, get it back in position. And the 35 Qatari car looking good at the moment. Meanwhile, Josh Micklemore is looking to make a move on Stevie Dubb, going down the inside there, making a nice move in the 31. Stevie Dubb looking to take a much wider line as well, but he is going to get caught by Micklemore as they come flying through the dogleg. Lots of them choosing to cut it at the moment. Quite a few sticking up on the track as well.
Yeah, definitely right, Carl. And tonight's going to be interesting because we should see around 70 laps out of a tank of fuel, between that 70-75 laps. So one thing we've got to watch here too is that the pit exit is right on that dogleg. So it's the responsibility of the guys coming out of the pits to make sure they do a clean and safe re-entry.
So easy to catch somebody coming out of that pit lane and to get a big accident here at Phoenix. It's one of those really tricky tracks where it can easily catch you out and cause some major problems. You tend to get some big accidents here, and you tend to get
Lachlan Urquio, big tank slapper in that coming across the start finish line, and that's really let these front three trucks get away a little bit now.
It's really broken it up the front. Ruben Phelps is under all kinds of pressure from Martin and from Joshua Carroll-Walden. Martin managed to get past him, so they are making moves throughout the field at the moment. We are getting lots of action here tonight for the ANZCAR trucks, brought to you by NeuroPower, of course, helping people with disabilities get some fun times in their lives.
Yeah, definitely. We can see Martin really putting the hammer down now. He's actually now just breached a little gap over Phelps. Phelps is definitely sticking to that mid-track line, and Martin's sticking down through the dogleg low and then back up into that mid-track. So the guys are definitely trying different lines. And as I say that, Ruben Phelps jumps down on the low line to try and get a run back on the inside of JCW.
We are getting some absolutely awesome racing going on here. Lots of chopping of lines, lots of changing of positions. You're only going to be able to manage that for a few laps though, because eventually you're going to start wearing those tyres out, and that could cause some major problems as the race goes on. Once those tyres start to go down, once the grip starts to fade on them, you can very easily find yourself in all kinds of problems. A little bit further back, we have the action coming thick and fast. Lachlan Urquio leading the pack. He's closing in on the rest of that group again. Then it's Josh Micklemore sitting just behind them with Barry Neal, Stevie Dubb, Shane Bowen, and Riley Curtis and Dave Douglas rounding out our top 10 two A1 cars, sitting just in 9th and 10th. And watch out for them as the race unfolds.
Yeah, definitely. We know Dave likes it here, so look at him moving forward a bit later on in the race. He'll probably just sit that around that 10th mark until after that first stop. Come down, take some tyres and take some fuel, and then get out there and have another great run for the second half until the second pit stop, which should be around lap 140.
Stevie Dubb here making a move on Barry Neal, getting down the inside. Doesn't quite make it, and Barry chops down in front of him, stops that move from happening, and manages to lock himself back up into P6.
Still no change up the front, still Martin, JCW, Phelps.
Although Urquio is catching to that group, so...
Yeah, I was just going to say, Lachlan Urquio is definitely catching. He's almost on the back of his teammate there of Phelps, so... well done to him for great recovery, and I'll tell you what, that tank slap, I know we missed it, but geez, if that had come, if he'd lost that, we were going to see a big wreck.
Yeah, he did a very good job of saving that. Unfortunately, little incidents like that don't bring up a marker to them with our scoring software, so you don't get an idea of where it's happened, and it's very hard to find those replays, especially when you've got plenty of action going on track.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen a great race last week between these guys, and it looks like they've just carried it over here to Phoenix in the nice hot desert sun.
Absolutely, as most of iRacing is suffering a bit of a rainstorm at the moment. Luckily the rain has kept off here at Phoenix. We don't have to worry about a rain delay tonight at least.
No, definitely not. Just looking down the back, and the guys are really starting to get stretched out now. Matty Hunter sitting down in 15th place. We had a brief talk to him prior to the race start, and he said he was really struggling tonight. So let's hope he can just get points up on the board tonight for the championship.
He's battling out there with Nigel Patton at the moment, who is all over the back of that truck, but sitting up in 15th position. Matty Hunter, not bad. A little bit further back you've got Brad Fenley there with Matthew Beale just behind him, and just keeping that truck in a nice position just ahead of Noddy Tompkins. There in the 18, Maxi Marshall getting it up a spot, and then rounding out the field is Greg Sholton. All trucks still running at the moment, Mark.
Yeah, good to see. 21 started, 21 still running. So just looking back there too, those Sim boys seem to be growing again in numbers tonight.
If one Sim boy crashes, then 2 more appear in its place, so that's the issue. They're like hydras.
Yeah, definitely. Look, back up the front though, we do have a race going on. We've still got JCW and Jason Martin 1 and 2. Sorry, Martin 1, JCW number 2. They've managed to just pull out a slight gap over Ruben Phelps and his SRM teammate Lachlan Urquhart. So it's starting to get strung out here a little bit. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I'm just watching the SRM boys coming into turn 1 and 2. I give up trying to name the turns. Down the back straight anyway, into that turn, and both those SRM cars trucks are right up against the fence coming into that turn 1 now. It is.
A bit too close to the fence there, as we were just on board there. Lockie trying to knock the camera off just so we can't get any information on what they're up to.
Yeah, definitely don't want to be doing that around here too often, because this place will give you some severe damage if you don't hit that wall square on.
Looks like that was about as perfect as you want to do a wall scrape here at Phoenix, because it doesn't look like there's any damage to that 42, and it does not look like it's dropped any pace either. So that's as much as you want to do against the walls, but they are really running it close at the moment and enjoying that as it stands. A little bit further back, talking of Sim Boys, is Kate Donnelly in the 40. He's managed to get past Dave Douglas and slot himself between the 2 A1 cars, moving up into 10th position at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just watching the battle here between Micklemore and Neil. Neil's got the low line pretty well sewn up. Micklemore is just sticking on that high line and coming out of turn 2 there. Got a little bit of a tail wag, and we did hear that turn 2 is the dangerous one tonight.
Barry Neal looking like he has got that move done just about, so very nicely done there to get that one pulled off and slide it up in front of the Mitch Motorsport truck.
Yeah, definitely. Back up front now, those 2 SRM trucks are definitely closing in. Ruben's going to be starting to give JCW a bit of grief in the next couple of laps, because we can see there coming out of turn 2, he's closed up.
Yeah, they're closing that gap. We've got a little bit of a fight going on as well with Josh Micklemore, Stevie Dubb and Shane Bowen at the moment. A freeway battle for 6th, 7th and 8th as well. So trying to do the old spy division here, about needing about 400 eyes to keep an eye on every single bit of action. Never easy to do, unfortunately, but we're getting some really good racing out here tonight, Mark.
Yeah, definitely are, and we've seen that right from round 1. The action here in the ANZCAR trucks have been really good, been close. Some photo finishes where we haven't known who's who until the timing is updated.
It's always fun when the timing screen is not even sure who's won, because it is that close a finish, and we've seen that a couple of times this season already. Again, launching off with some great action and some great racing throughout the field. Seen some good races on Monday nights as well in the modifieds too. We've been running those untelevised, but the highlight packages have been popped up by the help of Sean, one of our admin team, and bringing up some very nice pictures. Meanwhile, Kate Donnelly making a move on Riley Curtis there, moving his way up into 9th position, or trying to at the moment. Will he get the move done in the 40? Looking like it could well pay off here. Cade is good on this style of track as well. One of those drivers that can just creep up on you and just carry that car through Phoenix. And he's doing a good job of keeping Riley up high at the moment, but Riley's got a note just a couple of millimetres ahead. Slides it down in front of the Simboy entry. Just loses a little bit in the mid-corner. Looks like Donnelly can just keep a little bit of a lower run at the moment, and it's making that work.
Yeah, definitely. Back up front, Carl, we've got a bit of a gap happening. Martin has now got a half a second gap over JCW, and Phelps and Urquhart have just stayed course and stayed where they are. But you can see there in that shot, starting to get a little bit too high on that turns 1 and 2. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, because this reconfiguration of Phoenix is still confusing.
Yeah, it catches everybody out, unfortunately. It is such a... it's so tricky. It really does catch a lot of people out with just the way it sits nowadays. And you can see Phelps just closing up on the back of Carol Walden now. He's really starting to put some pressure, and it looks like the SRM team have done a good job of just managing their tyres and managing their pace here.
Yeah, by the looks of things, Phelps has definitely looked after his tyres a little bit better. We can see Lachlan starting to get a little bit of a push through 1 and 2 and get very close to that wall. It's now almost a second between Urquhart and Phelps. So Lachlan, Lachlan took on the wall may have hurt that truck a little bit more than what we think, Carl.
Yeah, maybe his tyres are just starting to just drop a little bit after that tank slapper as well. That would have hurt the tyres a tiny bit more. May have got a bit of a heat cycle through them. May have just worn them down a little bit quicker than he was hoping to. And that has just cost him a little bit. And you just see there the SRM team just taking that wide entry through turn 3 there and making it work. But it's, as the race goes on and you start getting marbles up there, things like that, that can start to cause issues for these guys. Currently, everybody doing a great job out there of keeping the trucks out of trouble. Not had a single incident point pop up on my Eagle Eye system. No major damage to any trucks that we can see. So everybody keeping the trucks out of the wall, which is something we weren't quite expecting for this one.
Definitely not, Carl. This place here, it's a little bit like Charlotte and Darlington. You nearly always see, once you get about the 30 lap mark, guys starting to get up into the wall and putting that nice destroyed paint down the right side of the truck and car.
Yeah, usually you've got quite a few battered vehicles by mid-race stage, but it's looking like everybody is doing a great job at the moment of keeping them out of trouble. And Shane Bowen here trying to make a move on Micklemore. This is the battle for 6th and 7th at the moment. The Cobalt Racing entry taking on the Mitch Motorsport car, and do not discount that DPR machine of Stevie Dubb right behind.
Yeah, Stevie Dubb's one of the most capped ANZCAR drivers, so I'd say he is the most capped ANZCAR driver at the moment in the field. And whenever he's in the race, you can never count him out, because he can just be in the right spot at the right time.
Oh, Micklemore getting close to the wall there. I think he may have just given it a little nibble, and that has given Bowen the opportunity to make the move on the 31 there and really do a good job of getting past. But Micklemore is not having any of it. Starts rubbing on the rear there of Bowen, trying to unsettle the truck a little bit. really, really fighting hard for that position.
Caution, caution, caution.
And it is Matty Hunter bringing out the caution flag, unfortunately. Just saw that, and a lot of damage to that truck. Let's see if we can get that replay here of Matt Hunter.
It's in the turns that he said, 3 and 4.
Ooh, yeah, just coming through the final corner. So through 4, back end steps out, just drops the back end and noses it heavily into the wall. And that is that for Matt Hunter.
And it looks like up front, Carl, everyone is heading for pit lane. Top 5 trucks are in. Top 6, top 7. So everyone's coming down pit lane. I don't think anyone's going to be brave enough to stay out. Everyone's on the lead lap except for Matty Hunter at the moment. As we know, he's just had that accident.
Jump to the lane. Once we get this replay finished, and just the back end has stepped out. Those rear tyres have just been screaming in agony. Got overly hot and spun him down into the wall, and heavy damage there for Matt Hunter. So off to the pit lane we go, and the trucks are busy in the lane.
And we've had Matthew Bale and Greg Skolton stay out, so they're the brave men.
That is a brave choice. I wonder if they'll stay out on track or pull it in here. 40 lap tyres here are going to be very, very uncompetitive, let's say.
Yeah, they will definitely go back at a great rate of knots with everyone behind them now with full tanks again and fresh tyres.
Of course, one thing that they could get is if there's another caution, if there's a quick caution that comes up, it means they can come in, get some slightly fresher tyres, maybe get some better options, and just give them a bit of a different off strategy chance. So they're going to see what they can do, but it's going to be a tricky restart on those tyres. Those things are not going to be comfortable once they get their foot down. But the pace car is going to be pulling it in very shortly here, and it's going to be Matthew Beale up in the lead for the first time in the 018. Big shout out to Mr. Gary Wellman as well, off enjoying a cruise, and he is not currently out on track, obviously, so off enjoying a cruise, so he's cheering on the Sim Boys from afar. But the cars are coming through now, and they are going to be taking the restart. So into the restart zone they will come, and how will they get away? What's the rest of the pack going to do? We're going to find out very shortly here at Phoenix, as we're going to go back to green flag racing for round 4 of the ANZCAR trucks. Waiting very long, and a bit of a slow start, especially for Sholton up on the high line. Sholton dropping back very, very quickly as the seas part and the trucks go around. Looks like everybody's made it through. Meanwhile, Matthew Beale up in the lead has managed to stay up there for a brief second, but Joshua Carroll Walden comes flying down, manages to go down the inside line, takes the position very, very quickly. Those fresh tyres absolutely helping those trucks take a much tighter line at the moment. And the old tyres, you can just see the difference there, the speed difference as those guys come across the dogleg for this time across the track. And already Sholton has dropped, and he's coming to the pit lane, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, definitely a brave driver to stay out there on 40 lap old tyres, and we still see Beale dropping back in the background. Everyone just getting past him.
And it's Joshua Carroll Walden that has taken advantage of that restart and got himself up into the lead in the 35. This is the track that JCW goes well at in that Natari entry, so keep an eye out for him in the latter stages. And Lachlan Urquio has pushed himself up into second, and, well, race leader for many laps, Mr. Jason Martin's dropped down to third now, just in front of Josh Mickelmore.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a bit of a team hookup to try and pull Martin along. Pull Mickelmore along. So we got those those two guys are teammates are locked up now. Ruben Phelps is now up into 7th. So he's dropped down the field a little bit, but he'll be looking to put a move on his fellow Kiwi driver Barry Neal just in front of him.
Meanwhile, Kay Donnelly and Chris Finley for the Sim Boys are up in 8th and 9th now. They've managed to slot themselves ahead of Shane Bowen, who just got shuffled down a little bit in those pit stops. Dave Douglas back there as well with Riley Curtis. Matthew Beale doing a valiant effort out there at the moment. It's dropped down to 15th position and is looking to be struggling a little bit for the pace out there on those older tyres. I imagine we'll be sitting and hoping that maybe a caution comes very, very soon to get him out there and back on track in, well, with some competitive tyres, you've got to say. But meanwhile, it's Joshua Carroll-Walden who has built up a fairly healthy lead here of about half, just over half a second. Meanwhile, we've got free wide action at Phoenix, Mark.
Yeah, 3 wide, very brave men. Probably the best part of the track to do it down that back straight and back into two wide there through 3 and 4. Barry Neal, sorry, I was just going to say, Barry Neal has really got a bullet under that truck at the moment. We've seen this happen with him before, where he comes in and takes that fresh set of rubber, and he definitely then comes back out and he's able to look after that second set of tyres.
Yeah, Barry Neal is a bit of a tyre whisperer. He can absolutely make tyres run longer than expected and give them a bit of a healthy run. Stevie Dubb doing a great job taking advantage of that free wide moment, getting himself up into 4th position, doing a nice job. And a little bit further back they're going free wide again into the corner, and it's Ruben Phelps going down the middle there, pushing his way between Kate Donnelly and Josh Micklemore. Micklemore just getting a little bit squirrely on the exit. Free wide going through that corner, Mark, is well, it's not traditional, but they're making it work.
Yeah, definitely, and we can see why these some of these guys are the best in Australia and New Zealand with moves like that. They've been able to lean on each other and not touch. It's been fantastic racing.
And Micklemore once again just coming off worse in that moment, losing position to Ruben Phelps. And looks like Micklemore's just struggling a little bit here tonight, just not quite got the truck under him that he wants, and it's just not quite working at the moment, although he's starting to come back a little bit at Ruben Phelps in the SRM truck. Meanwhile, looking to get in on this action, he's seen free wide in front of him, thought, well, I fancy a go at that. It's Dave Douglas moving his way up as well, underneath Shane Bowen.
Yeah, definitely. Out the front now, we've got JCW now with just under a second gap to second place Urquio, and then a further second back to Jason Martin in 3rd. So you're 100% right. This place certainly suits JCW, and he tends to, as you said, Carl, go well here.
A big moment there for Micklemore. Just caught it at the top of the screen there. That truck was going slightly sideways, but he just managed to save that one. As not so good for Dave Douglas and Kay Donnelly as they go around into the wall. Sorry, that was Riley Curtis, I think, not Dave Douglas. No, it was Dave Douglas. Dave Douglas and Kay Donnelly there going around, and that has brought the caution flag out on lap 54. Let's get the replay of that one. Find out what happened here. So, got Riley Curtis just behind Cade Donnelly. There's that moment for Micklemore I was talking about, just at the top of the screen. And that's checked this pack up a little bit. They've just lost some momentum. And I think that might be the cause, the catalyst for causing this one. Let's see what happens. Dave Douglas gets loose. Goes in to Kate Donnelly and then up into Riley Curtis. So that was on Dave Douglas there.
Yeah, Dave's in the pits. Same with the Curtis, Noddy Tompkins. Looks like they're going to just come in and get some repairs done. Doesn't look too much damage to Dave Douglas's truck. But you'll come in and get those fine little repairs done.
Yeah, so that's at the moment for Micklemore. And yeah, it's looking pretty treacherous out there at the moment, and the rears are looking a little bit, just that little bit squirrely. But good news for Matthew Beale. He's managed to get in, or is he staying out again? No, coming in, I think. Hope no, staying out. That's a interesting call.
Very, very brave man. Dave Douglas is on his way out, so he will get out and stay on the lead lap.
No, that's good news to get back out on the lead lap. That's going to be crucial. It's going to be interesting to see what they plan on here. And gotta say, bit of a interesting one for Matthew Beale, just staying out there on old tyres. Tyre limit tonight, Mark. I don't think there's that many. There's quite a few tyres to be had, so it's not really a thing of needing to save too much. Mark's quickly, I'm sure, checking to see what the tyre limit is for me in my subtle hint that I gave him. So
I am trying.
So up the front, it's going to be Carol Walden, and that nice lead he had has been evaporated. So that is that's not so much fun. Greg Sholton has come into the lane again, maybe for a quick top up of fuel. Came in for those fresher tyres as well, so just the one car out there on old tyres now, and that's a brave thing to do at Phoenix. There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity sometimes, but we'll see how it works out by the end of the race, and then we can work out which one it is. And big thank you to Edward Foster. 4 sets of tyres tonight. I thought that would have been the case, so
thank you, Mr. Foster. We can see here at the front, Carl, Lachlan Urquhart really giving the squeeze down on JCW as they come around to take the green flag again.
And into the restart zone they go, and Joshua Carroll Walden gets a beautiful restart there. Gets a lovely jump up at the front and manages to get away nicely. And Urquio has just got caught out a little bit by Martin. Martin going down the inside, getting that position at the moment. And Stevie Dubb all over the back of him. Look at Barry Neal as well, putting pressure on the back as well. So this has really closed up that top group of cars once more.
It definitely has, and we've seen the guys come in, grab some tyres at the back, and that they're moving forward. Norman Clark got a set of tyres. He came down pit lane, but this is a real battle up here. Not so much for JCW. He's again checked out to half a second gap lead, but that battle for third through to seventh is really tight.
Yeah, no gap at all, as we can see here. They are really all on top of each other almost. 2 wide through Phoenix, and Stevie Dubb looking to make up another position here, battling it out with Jason Martin. 2 absolute stalwarts of the ANZCAR series. 2 gentlemen very, very familiar with their driving styles, have battled it out many times here on Performance E streaming. Stevie Dubb and Jason Martin, and Ruben Phelps now looking to get up a little bit quicker as well, as we've got Kate Donnelly popping it into the lane. So possibly a penalty for Donnelly there, unfortunately. Didn't see anything flying up on anything else, unfortunately, for Donnelly, but he has had to take it into the lane.
Yeah, I think KAR ended up sideways coming out of turn 4, Carl. So I'll just go back and see if I can see. I did see someone in the background and that far shot on those last couple of laps.
There we go. That is part of it. He had a big moment coming through the corner and then made heavy impact into the wall. So some damage there for Kay Donnelly. That's a shame. He had a fast sled tonight.
Yeah, he definitely did. I just seen him in the background and get loose, and I was just trying to find it myself. But well done.
So we see Micklemore and Phelps battling it out once again. Micklemore getting close to the wall, really fighting it out hard here. And this is for 6th and 7th position. They've got Barry Neal in front of them, Shane Bowen behind them, Chris Finley and Troy Davidson now making their way up and coming forward. And as I said earlier, you lose one Simboy from the top 10 and then 2 appear in their place because Troy Davidson is up there now as well. So we've got Chris Finley and Troy Davidson just rounding out the top 10, battling their way forwards as well.
Yeah, just then Barry touched the wall coming out of turn 4. So keep an eye on him. It's unusual to see Barry up into the wall there.
Yeah, not a driver known for scraping walls or making little mistakes. Barry is one of those drivers that very good at keeping it within the lines. So that just tells me that this truck is not the easiest thing to drive tonight once you start getting some temperature in those tyres. As we did say earlier in the broadcast with the weather. There we go. It's not too hot out there tonight, only 29 degrees Celsius track temperature, 23 degrees air temperature, but this place puts a hammering on those tyres, especially the rears. So they do get up to temperature very quickly, and once they get to a certain point, they just stop working.
Yeah, and also remember, we do have a little bit of sand blowing from outside the track, so that can make it a little bit slippery at times too. I'm just watching back here for 7th and 8th. Bowen's just dropped off a little bit, but keep an eye on him because he's the last couple of laps he's really been putting the pressure on the rear of Phelps. And as I say that, Phelps now up into the back of Micklemore. So this I think is where the battle's going to be. JCW now checked out to just over a second gap at the front over Herculeo and Martin. So this is definitely where the battle is.
Absolutely, and we're seeing that with Stevie W, who's just been shuffled down from 4th to 7th in a matter of a lap almost. Barry Neal getting underneath him and pushing him down, and then Ruben Phelps looking to go 3 wide across the dogleg, push Stevie W up. Josh Micklemore taking advantage of that and moving his way forwards. Now Shane Bowen making a move on Ruben Phelps, so they are all fighting for position. Every couple of seconds they are chopping and changing their positions.
Yeah, we can see the guys that definitely got distinctive lines through turns 3 and 4. We see Phelps really like that mid track. Bowen has now got underneath Phelps and made that move. He's been running the low line, so certain guys definitely like certain parts of this track.
Now, our long stint hero Matthew Beale may have had a bit of an issue. No, just coming into the lane maybe, and I think just exiting. So Matthew Beale has made a stop for tyres, unfortunately under green flag conditions. So that is going to be a painful stop, unfortunately, but should be able to get to the end from here. So that's maybe what Beale's thinking here, is if we go green to the end, might be able to get a few of those positions back.
Yeah, but it's gonna be hard. He's a lap down now, so yeah, he definitely wants the caution. These guys are settled down a little bit now, but see Phelps really struggling this second stint. He's not going forward. He had the truck early in the race, but second stint he's definitely gone backwards in the field.
It's not quite working for him at the moment. His teammate up there, Lachlan Acquia in the 42, is having a good run, but Martin is closing in on him at the moment. And if there's any truck you don't want to see closing in on you, it is a purple Mitch Motorsport one, because Jason Martin is always very quick. When he starts closing in on you, you know it's going to be one heck of a fight coming your way. And you can see it now. Martin taking that slightly tighter line is really closing up on the back of Urquio and starting to put him under immense pressure.
Yeah, now Matthew Beale's just come out in the background there. I've seen him exiting pit lane. He's now gone 3 laps down, so he won't even get the lucky dog. Greg Scholten will.
So here is the battle for second place at the moment. Martin versus Urquio. And you just see the slightly different lines they're taking. You can see up in front as well, Carol Walden is in the lead still. We haven't forgotten about him. He is absolutely in the lead of this race. He's got about a 1.7 gap over this battle at the moment between the 42 of Urquio and the 21 of Martin. Martin looking to make the move here, seeing what he can do and seeing where he can make the pass. But Urquio is positioning his car nicely, just keeping it in a position to just make Martin have to think twice about it.
Just an update on Phelps. He is definitely going backwards. Dave Douglas actually got past 9th position now.
Okay. You have to wonder if he's trying to just save a little bit or just trying something a bit different, because he definitely had some good pace in that truck at the beginning of the race, but it has fallen away a little bit in this, the second stint almost on those tyres. Just not quite getting the same pace he had in the early stages of this race. Meanwhile, Martin is really trying hard to get Urquio, but Urquio is just doing a great job of defending here. Just taking that slightly wider line is really saving him at the moment.
There's 2 distinctive lines that they're using. Martin definitely trying that low line. He seems to like that low line a lot better. Urquio stays in that mid track, like he takes the typical oval track down low, then slides up to the mid track. Then both of them cut down across that dog leg. Martin really using that dog leg where Urquio just stays on the racing surface. He's just staying above that yellow line.
And that can sometimes help you a little bit with tyre life here at Phoenix. Just not cutting the dog leg quite as hard. You don't put as much force through the car. It doesn't unsettle it as much. You don't quite put as much pressure on some of the tyres. And now Urquio's cutting down in that little section. But they're trying some different things here, and they are really racing each other hard. Urquio's doing a grand job at the moment, and Martin is probing every single lap, trying to work out where he is going to attack the 42. Up at the front, as we said, it's Carol Walden. And we'll jump onto his gearbox camera quickly to give you an idea of what he's seeing in his rear view mirror, which isn't much in all fairness. He's not seeing too much action, but he could see a little pale blue dot and a pale purple dot in the background battling it out, and that is going to bring a little smile to his face, I'm sure, because the more they fight, the more that gap is growing. It's up to 2.1 seconds now, and this is really helping Joshua Carol Walden out get that lead, get himself up towards the front, and could be the difference as this race goes on to the winning position. As Martin gets another good run through the corner, that tighter line almost paying off, but Urquio taking that slightly wider line gets a better run off the corner and just keeps the truck ahead of Martin every single time. Barry Neal is closing in on this fight as well.
And if Barry, you've got to watch Barry, because if he closes in, He's not going to hold back. He's going to want to keep going forward.
And on board with Barry Neal here, getting a little bit of a bird's eye view from his cockpit at the moment, get an idea of what it's like racing here, following two hard fighting trucks as well. See Rio and Martin up front battling it out, and Neil just running his own race at the moment, but trying to close that gap. Steady as she goes, trying to get closer and closer each time they come around for another lap, and the gap is closing, not at a great rate of knots, but it will be closing as those two keep on battling. From the driver's eye view here from Barry Neal, just a little bit of a better view out the front as well, and give you a bit of an idea of a slightly driver's eye view perspective as well as you're driving these things. Don't get a huge amount of vision as you go around these tracks, and it's a little bit helped with the fact I have to shrink the screen down a little bit to get the POV, to get it working on my for the streams. It gives a little bit of a wider POV, but the drivers will have much less than that as they are racing generally.
Just to bring you updated with the battle back here, 6th and 7th, or 6th and 5th. Dave Douglas has closed right up on the back of Mickelmore now, and giving him a hurry up. So Dave has done well to recover from that little incident that he had a little bit earlier, and he's, as we said, he's definitely starting to move forward now.
Back end of that truck not looking plastered there. That was a big wiggle of the tail for the number 10 A1 entry there, and Mickelmore as well. Oh, fishtailing it through the start finish line there. Josh Mickelmore somehow holding on to the truck as it started to fishtail there.
Oh, another one across the start finish line there. Dave looks like he may have the job done here on lap 88. So he's now will move up to 5th. No, Mickelmore's fighting back on the outside. This is a great battle here for 5th and 6th.
It's the movable object meeting a mountain right here. They will not want to let either one of those cars pass. Passing Josh Mickelmore is never an easy task. Battling Dave Douglas, never an easy task. They will fight for that position absolutely tooth and nail and keep themselves in that spot as much as they can. But it looks like Douglas is just able to make it work as Mickelmore is still struggling a little bit with some slides. That car is not looking as planted, but now he's coming back at Douglas and trying to go down the inside. So they are really fighting it hard at the moment, and Matthew Beale getting a great bird's eye view of this one. He is seeing this from the front of his truck as he is out there on those fresher tyres, trying to get at least one of those 3 laps back that he has lost from that green flag stop. And I think maybe he found himself on the end of a penalty maybe and had to do a drive-through.
Yeah, Lachlan Oakley just touched the fence heavily in the in turns turn 2, coming out of turn 2. Just going to say he's been able to do well just to gap that to Martin a little bit, now out to half a second, but his truck just does not look healthy. It just doesn't seem settled.
Oh, well, the question is with that caution that we had, I think they still need to come in for fuel, I think, when that came out, Mark. So when will we see some people doing their first stops here? And would you want to come in, sort of be one of the first to come in to take advantage of those fresh tyres, try to get a leap over the rest of the field, or stay out as long as possible, hoping for a late caution?
I'm looking to come in the pit lane as soon as I can. um,
Oh,
but yeah,
Micklemore has lost it, and that's going to bring out the caution flag. Shane Bowen just snuck through there. That was a save by Bowen. Micklemore just managed to keep himself out of trouble, but it has brought the caution flag out, and well, that's scuppered any talk of strategy there. So let's jump back and see what happened to Micklemore here, just coming through the corner. The back end started to step out on him, and it all went awry. It was the next corner. Let's jump on board first of all. Try and get a bit of an idea of what happened from the onboard. Here for Micklemore, and he was really racing hard against Douglas, but just got down a little bit low, maybe just got a little bit close to the apron, and the back end just absolutely stepped out on him. And then watch from this view as Shane Bowen just comes flying through there. Days of Thunder style, absolutely. Very, very lucky there from Shane Bowen, because that could have been a nasty, nasty accident.
yeah, it definitely could have been a big one, and seen the end of the night for two drivers there. But everyone apart from Matthew Bale is in pit lane. So a lot of trucks going up on stands, changing both left and right.
And unsurprisingly, Carol Walden comes back out in the lead. But a little bit of a change for third position. Dave Douglas sneaking his way up into third position ahead of Jason Martin. So that was a big leap from Dave with that pit stop. He absolutely nailed that one.
Yeah, he looks like he's out of everyone that's taken tyres. He did a 14.1 in his box. Everyone else is 14.3, 14.5, 14.2. So great stop there by Dave.
Absolutely nailed that one. Very nice job from Dave Douglas. While we've got this little bit of a lull, we'll try and get the view from that incident. We'll just watch from Shane Bowen's point of view, and you see, that was very well evaded by Bowen. He thought that Micklemore might slide down a little bit further, saw that the car had stopped, and then just gave it that little jink to save it. That was a super save. That's one of those little bits of driving that you really can't teach. It's just an instinct thing, isn't it? And it's one of those moments that when it works, you look like a hero, but sometimes you get caught out.
Yeah, it doesn't always pay off, but great awareness there. Great evasive action. So it's really killed our strategy race here. It's going to be an hour sprint, and whoever can keep the tyres under them, because the guys can make it home from here. There's only, well, I'd say when we go back, there'll be just on 51 laps to left in the race.
Turned this into a bit of a sprint now. Into this final section, and you've got to say that's looking good for Carol Walden. He's had some good runs, but I'm sure Erquio is going to be trying to keep with him on this restart, as they will come up to the restart zone in about 4 hours time, down this big long back straight into the corner they come into the restart zone. They will be coming, and look how close Erquio is, trying to listen out to the pitch shift, and away they go. And again, Carol Walden catches them off guard and gets a beautiful start. Douglas behind, getting away nicely as well, moves himself up into second here Watch out for Opio. He's been very strong tonight, but will he be able to stay up there? 3 wide behind with Barry Neal in the middle between Ruben Phelps and Stevie Dubb. Stevie Dubb just getting up high and gets into the wall. Big hit for Stevie Dubb. He just keeps it in play, but he's going to lose a lot of time and a lot of damage to the 98.
And up front, though, Urquio's been able to hold tough and get back into second place, followed by Dave Douglas. And look at Barry Neal on the inside, Carl. We've said you can't count him out here.
And not really having to worry about any saving now, these drivers. They've just got 50 laps to go, and they are going to be thinking about going hard now for these final few laps and getting a good run to the end. So it's all on now. Who is going to be driving fast?
Is anyone out there listening game enough to call the winner? I'm not gonna say it because I'm not gonna jinx anyone.
No, I'm not gonna. Oh, Barry Neal and Ruben Phelps making contact, and that makes Jason Martin. Hits Jason Martin. Martin just saves it, but that's going to lose him a lot of time here. That has dropped him right down. Big moment. Let's just grab the replay here. You see, Phelps just darts to the inside of Barry Neal. Barry Neal saves it, but Martin gets caught. Martin, a bit of a passenger there, gets really caught in it, and it's looking tasty back here as well as they're 3 wide with Noddy Tompkins, Stevie Dubb battling it out with Matthew Beale in the middle, trying to get some of those laps back. Got Riley Curtis back there too. Plenty of action going throughout this pack tonight, Mark.
Yeah, definitely, and again another great save by Bowen not to run into Martin. That has dropped Martin down to 10th place.
Position, yeah. Has been a big net loss for Jason Martin. Troy Davidson now in front of him, going to be making it hard to pass, I am sure, trying to secure himself up in the top 10. So Martin goes down the inside. Chris Finley, meanwhile, making a move on Josh Micklemore too. So we've got Simboys versus Mitch Motorsport. Double vision at the moment. Up the front, it's Finley versus Micklemore. A little bit further back, it's Martin versus Davidson.
And right up the front again, we've now got JCW almost out to a second gap over Urquio, and then a further second, almost a second back, is Dave Douglas and Ruben Phelps.
Yeah, that has really stretched out the lead here, and Douglas is going to want to try and get a little bit of wiggle on, and he's going to be hoping that that damage is not going to be affecting him too much for speed, because he wants to try and close that gap. It doesn't look like it's hurting too much at the moment, but he's not quite able to close the gap on those boys up front. And well, you've got to say, not many people have. I think the only driver that was really able to hang up there tonight was Jason Martin. We saw Ruben Phelps struggling to keep the pace with those front 3 guys in that first stint. So they're just really on form tonight, you've got to say.
Yeah, definitely are. And JCW is just probably sitting back there with his foot up on the gearbox cowl and just relaxing. He's really not being bothered tonight.
He's had generally you're not going to complain if it's a quiet night out front if you're leading. That's never a bad thing to enjoy. So he is currently trying to enjoy that the most he can. Meanwhile, Ruben Phelps is putting pressure on Double D, Dave Douglas, as well as Barry Neal. And well, we saw Phelps and Barry Neal make a little bit of contact with Phelps giving Barry Neal that little tap in the rear. And I wonder if he will remember that.
I do remember Rubbins racing, so we'll just have to wait and see.
And Barry Neal now getting down on the inside of Phelps and putting him under pressure, and that's just alleviated a little bit of the attack on Dave Douglas as well.
So 40 laps left, JCW is definitely looking good for the race win here tonight. But anything can happen.
Indeed, and might have something happened to the number 4, Greg Sholton. He has a big slide coming out the corner, does not save it in time, and that is a lot of damage to the number 4. And well, Sholton's race is, I've got to say, probably over with that impact. He's managed to get it down and out of the way, so didn't bring out a caution flag, but that is a very, very damaged truck.
Yeah, that's heavy damage into the steering, into the front, into both sides. So not a night for the man.
Easy mistake to happen at Phoenix, though. This place is such a punishing track, and it is so easy to be caught out here and have a mother of all impact into the wall. Great job by everybody for not having too many of them tonight, as Phelps still fighting out with Barry Neal at the moment. The two Kiwis fighting hard, and this is allowing Shane Bowen to close in on the 2 and start to close the gap on these 2 and see what he can do here as well. Good night for Bowen in the Commonwealth entry. We've seen these guys come in last season and they've been having some good pace, and tonight they've proved it once again, right up there and battling it out for a top 5 position tonight, well inside the top 10.
Yeah, definitely. Just start looking down the rough water. We've actually only lost 2 trucks out of the race tonight, Maxie Marshall and Kay Donnelly. Matty Hunter, I don't think he's going to get back out on track. Still sitting in pit lane with very heavy damage done on that front. You see Barry here now really getting up the inside of Phelps through turns 1 and 2, down the back straight into 3 and 4. Still trying to stick that nose down there, but Ruben's doing well just to pull that truck down and block that off. Dave Doug be looking in the mirror saying, "That's it, boys. You keep fighting there, and I'll just stay out here and just drive a nice easy line."
This is exactly what you're going to see in your rearview mirror, of people fighting behind you and slowing each other down. That is never a bad thing. Stevie Dubb's bringing it into the lane. So is that possibly another retirement for tonight, or possibly a drive-through for Stevie Dubb?
Yeah, that right-hand front tyre will look like a bit of an odd angle. We're just keeping an eye on this battle here. Barry Neal sticking it down again.
There is the payback, Mark. I was
Yeah.
I was asking if that would happen, and it did.
Yeah, but a little bit of a hip and shoulder there by Neil. Barry saying, "I want this line out of the road. I'm coming through."
That was that's all fair in love and war, as they say. And I'm sure Ruben's going to be, he's not going to be too happy about that one. But as is stock car racing, you give a little bit of a rub to one person and it will come back to bite you at some stage.
Definitely right. Now the next target on Barry Neal's list is DD. So we'll have to wait and see how this pans out.
Meanwhile, 35 still up in the lead, and a healthy lead at that, almost 2 seconds to Lachlan Urquio, and then a good couple of seconds back to Dave Douglas. And look at how quickly Barry Neal has closed that gap as well. He is putting all kinds of pressure on Double D Dave Douglas right now. Down the inside, he's looking to try and make that move on the number 10. Not quite doing it at the moment, but will be sitting there patiently. Shane Bowen as well. He's moved up into 5th position after that little bit of contact between Neil and Phelps, and having a good run up there as well, waiting to just keep himself in a good position just in case either of these make a little mistake or burn their tyres up too quickly. Bowen will be able to pounce on them if either of them do that. Then a little bit further back, we've got a battle between Martin and Chris Finley at the moment. The 104 versus the 21. Sim Boys versus Mitch Motorsport, and Martin making his way up through the field as well. And he's going to be suffering a little bit. I'm sure he took a bit of damage on those tyres when he got hit earlier on. But that will still be a fast truck. We've seen that. Chris Finley doing a good job of defending, but not quite enough to keep Martin behind him as Martin moves up into 7th position. Still inside the top 10 though for Finley, importantly. Troy Davidson and Josh Micklemore as well getting close to each other and still battling it out on track. And Noddy Tompkins sitting just in P11 at the moment, just on the verge of a top 10 finish.
Yeah, it's good to see Noddy up there and having a good run tonight. Just back to this battle between Douglas and Neil, and Neil is really getting down underneath Douglas now, and it looks like he's going to get this move done. Down through the dog leg, still neck and neck, still very close. While they're battling though, they are closing in on Urquio.
As Douglas just gives the wall a little rub there, and that's going to be the opportunity Barry Neal will want to see. That's going to hurt his momentum a little bit. They're still side by side. Douglas doing a great job of keeping that truck alive with some damage and some rubbing. But Neal is putting all kinds of pressure on him. And well, you said they were catching up to Urquio, but Bowen is catching up to them at a great speed as well. So this could be the opportunity for Shane Bowen right now.
Oh, Douglas in the fence again. Heavy this time. Still keeping it there with Neil, side by side. You see there, Neil just trying to escort him up towards the wall, just that little fraction. A little bit of gamesmanship.
Douglas just giving that wall a bit of a tap again, and that lost him too much momentum that time. And that is what Neil needs to get past and move himself up into 3rd position, up on the podium.
That truck of Dave, that rear end of Dave's truck definitely doesn't look stable, and Bowen is really closing in on him now.
Bowen moving in fast here, and Bowen's been very smart in this race, not pushing too hard, not battling side by side, being able to take his lines. So this will be helpful, I'm sure, on the tyre life, and could be the opportunity needed to move up into 4th position as they battle out. And I've just seen the resurrected car of Matty Hunter just slithering back out on track as well to try and get a couple of extra positions in this race if he can.
We make up 1 or 2 spots. You can stay out there for the rest of the race. But this battle now between Douglas and Bowen is definitely shaping up to be the one to watch.
This is as Douglas's rear end just gets a little bit slippery there, just a little bit loose there for Double D, and that is given the opportunity for Bowen just to get a bit of a run here. That car is not looking planted at the rear for the number 10 A1 Cindersports entry, and Douglas is starting to struggle a little bit. Bowen getting down on the inside, pushing Douglas wide again. And we said earlier in this race, you've got to be careful running up high at this stage of the race at Phoenix, because the marbles get up there, the car gets very, very tight, very, very quickly. It will get up into the wall, and you'll find yourself in a whole heap of trouble.
Yeah, just looking in the background, Martin now closing in on Phelps. So with 20 laps or 20 laps left to go, we can't count out Martin and getting back up into the top 5 either.
It's a very brave person to bet against Jason Martin, especially in a truck. He is very, very quick and very, very good in these things. And he could well find himself back up in the top 5, but he's going to have to fight against Ruben Phelps, and that is going to be no easy task, as I am sure the Flying Kiwi will have a little bit of the old red mist in front of him and will not want to give up any more positions in this race. So we'll keep our eyes on this battle for 4th and 5th at the moment. Douglas has managed to eke out a little bit of a gap now. Douglas looking like he's just settled that truck down a little bit and looking a little bit more comfortable at the moment.
Yeah, it's only just a little bit more comfortable. But I'm keeping an eye on Phelps and Martin behind them, because they are definitely closing back in on these two.
Well, what's the greatest thing you can see as a racing driver, other than the checkered flag when you're leading, I should say? But it's the people in front of you or the people behind you battling, because that just helps you close that gap so very quickly. And that's what we're seeing now between Douglas and Bowen. These two fighting are helping Martin and Phelps close this gap on them.
Yeah, the battle just has settled down a little bit. Bowen looks like he's just eased off. Oh! Then that's Douglas has done well to keep that truck going, but that's going to have some damage on that front, and that's definitely fallen Douglas back into the graps of Phelps and Martin now.
Do we need to check if Dave Douglas is actually part cat, because he's used up a few lives tonight and he's gotten away with it?
Yeah, I don't know how he got away with that one, because that was very sideways and nice heavy hit into that inside wall.
Doesn't look like it was that heavy though, because it was such a light tap apparently that didn't even bring up an incident point for it. So
wow.
He absolutely got through that one with all the luck that you could possibly have. So that was a very lucky moment, but now the truck is looking really rough to drive again, wiggling its tail as it gets onto the straight. Those rear tyres are screaming in agony by the looks of it.
Yeah, definitely, and we have seen in the past when the fuel loads do get light in these trucks, they do get very loose.
Jason Martin, Ruben Phelps now fighting it out right behind Dave Douglas, and they are going to be fighting for this position in the closing stages, you got to say. This is the battle for 5th position. All 3 of these drivers want that spot. None of them are going to be willingly giving it up, you got to say.
Oh, again, Douglas getting very sideways across the start-finish line. Still out in front though by 3.5 seconds now. JCW over Urquio. Then there's another second back to Barry Neal. I don't know if Neal's going to have enough laps to close up. It's coming down to 10 laps to go, so he is closing ever so slightly, but the battle is definitely here for 5th place. Yeah. We can see here that Douglas's rear end is definitely starting to step out a little bit more. Phelps is got that smell now for 5th. So has Martin. See now Martin right up on the back of Phelps's truck.
It's almost like blood in the water, isn't it? And they are just getting that sense that Douglas is struggling, and they are now on the attack. They can just sense that he is struggling, and they've got the opportunity to get past him here with 10 laps to go. It's going to be, I reckon this is going to be a relatively rough fight. So if you're squeamish or a younger viewer, please look away for the next 10 laps.
Oh, Phelps got loose there coming out of 4.
I think Martin got
out of 2.
Yeah, I think Martin
Wrong
got a bit
way.
tight as well, and he got up into the wall very briefly too. So this is really, really tough fighting. Phelps getting his nose down the inside here now of Douglas. Pushing Douglas up wide. Douglas absolutely picture perfect through those corners, just giving the wall the slightest margin. You could not fit a cigarette paper between him and the wall there. But he, as Phelps goes round the rear, letting go of him, and the 06 is going down onto the dog leg. Will it bring out the caution? It does!
Wow. Seeing the laps leading up to this, Phelps' truck starting to get a little bit looser and looser through 3 and 4, and it's finally let go on him.
Big slide. It almost looked like he saved it, but then it just snapped back around. Luckily, nobody else getting caught up in that one, and as well, nobody getting any damage there. Phelps avoiding the wall, so that is some good news for him. But that is going to be a painful moment, and he just had to slide it just to avoid it going into the wall there. You can see that right there. So he just misses the wall by the narrowest of margins, but it does bring out the caution flag here with 7 laps to go. And, well, Dave Douglas has decided to stay out and gamble. Everybody else looks like they are coming into the lane.
Look for tyres and maybe a splash of fuel, because we may end up in overtime here.
Who's going to be brave and just take 2 sets, I wonder? And I think we found our answer. It's Lachlan Urquio. Just taking the right sides only. So, everybody else, by the looks of it, has taken all 4 tyres. Urquio's taken right side only. Dave Douglas has taken none. So, we have a mix of old tyres, new tyres, slightly worn tyres. This is going to be an interesting restart, Mark.
It's definitely going to be interesting. I don't want to put my money on Dave because you know, what, 49 laps on that set of tyres, and everyone behind him except Vale has got fresh rub, either fresh 4 tyres or outsides.
Yeah, well, I mean, if Dave Douglas doesn't win, we can blame Gary Wellman. He picked Dave Douglas for the win, so he's put the curse on, not us. We'll remind Dave of that if he doesn't win, and let him put a curse on Gary at some stage.
Just see there, Dave doing a little bit of a test start. Matty Hunter dropping down and letting everyone go past.
And I wonder if, Dave is playing some head games at the moment with the field. So, trying to psych out some of those drivers. Meanwhile, Carroll Walden, he's got fresh tyres all around. He's going to be starting on that low line, but he's going to be starting behind Dave Douglas. And that's going to bunch up that low line a little bit. Of course, up on the high line, you've got Urquio, who's got fresh tyres and worn tyres. So the left side will be a bit worn, not quite as much as the rights, but they will be a bit different, and of course they'll come up to temperature in different ways too. That is going to change how it starts up, and it can be very easy to loop a truck when you've only done right side or left side only. It's very easy to make a mistake when you've only changed one side of tyres, of course. So, do we reckon we've seen our last caution, Mark?
I think we're going to see another caution here. Al?
Yep, I get the feeling we may just see another caution here. But we may see something spectacular. Watch out for Bowen up high. He's got 4 fresh tyres behind Urquio. He could be in a good spot here. Watch out for the low line too as they're coming up into the restart zone. It's going to be Douglas leading the pack away. When will he put his foot down? Is it going to be early? Is it going to be late? And it's going to be very early. He gets a nice big jump and he gets away beautifully on that low line. That is exactly the start that he needed. Jason Martin, he's right up there again. Martin absolutely flying, and he's going to be wanting to work his way up after getting that nudge earlier on. Carol Walden, he's been fast all night. Remember, he's got 4 sets of fresh tyres on. Urquio's just got the right side. It's getting a little bit wobbly. Barry Neal just gets a little bit loose through the corner, but holds it as Dave Douglas goes down, makes contact with Carol Walden. They hold on, and then Barry Neal goes into the back of Martin, and the caution flag is flying here as Jason Martin is the unwitting driver once again, just getting caught in a big incident.
Yeah, unfortunate for him. I'm just wondering now if we green white check. I don't. Martin's going to have to. Douglas is going to have to stay out there. He doesn't have a choice in the matter now.
So let's see this one. So there was contact between Carol Walden and Douglas, and that just checked the pack up. Martin just having to lift off a little bit, and that causes Barry Neal to just go in the back of him, just nudges him up into Shane Bowen. And it's a big enough impact to send that car around and send him down the pack, and just misses Josh Micklemore. Bowen very lucky to avoid some impacts, but he's not going to avoid this one from Brad Finlay, who goes into the front of that truck, and that is a painful hit there for Shane Bowen, and that's a big shame for the 308, who was running very well tonight. Brad Finlay as well. He would have taken some heavy damage to the front. I think this is exactly what Douglas wanted to see, Mark, because with it being a late caution here, it means he's going to be able to hold position that little bit easier and keep himself up towards the front of the pack. So he might be able to get a fairly good finishing position here. Carol Walden is going to be sitting back behind Urquio, so he's going to be sitting back again, and it's going to be a shootout to the end here in Phoenix.
Yes, definitely, and look, I think we're going to have another close photo finish. Oh jeez, you got Micklemore, Neal, JCW, Urquio. Oh, it's just a one who is brave enough to throw the coin out. But in saying that too, Noddy Tompkins is from nowhere and then up into 6th place. So these guys are up front here. Decide to really have a battle. Noddy could come through and take a race win.
Sitting in a good position right there. Another driver that's come up through the field, Nigel Patton, having a good run up in 9th position too. Riley Curtis, we saw him getting caught up in an incident earlier, and that dropped him back through the field, but he's up in 8th too. So we're getting quite a few comeback stories. Ruben Phelps dropping all the way down to 12th position. He's not really managed to gain any spots in that restart, getting checked up that little bit. But Lachlan Urquio sitting up at the front of the pack once more, and could be in a very strong position here with 3 laps to go. So we're going to get a natural green-white checker here, Mark.
Yeah, definitely will tonight. I think we're going to be safe. I don't think we're going to see the caution again. But I have been known to be wrong.
You doomed us now, Mark. Never getting out of it. So as the pack come around once more, Martin coming in for some major repairs, and he's joining himself back up there. It's Urquio and Douglas, and Urquio's got the lead this time. He can put his foot down when he is ready in the restart zone. Douglas has to react to that. Who's going to get away? We're going to find out now as we come down to 3 laps here for the ANZCAR trucks here on Performance City Street. Dreaming, and Urquio gets a beautiful restart there. Douglas not getting away too easily. Remember, he's on much older tyres as Micklemore and Carol Walden really rubbing as they go across the dog leg, and they somehow keep those trucks in a solid position. And do not lose that as Dave Douglas is losing it in the background. And oh, Norman Clark just got away with that one, but it brings the caution out due to Mark cursing us. And we are going to get a green-white checker finish here.
Yeah. Dave's got to come in the pit lane and put tyres on.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a choice.
Let's see what happened here. And Douglas just gets up high, and I reckon just that little bit of marble up there, just that those tyres being too worn, goes right around and jump up to the blimp and watch the green Mountain Dew, the 09 of Norman Clark here, just getting through. I do not know how he fit that through there, because there was not enough room to get a bicycle through there, let alone a NASCAR truck.
And Douglas has stayed out.
Interesting. A bit of a brave call from Douglas, but it'll cool his tyres down a little bit, so might be okayish. This is on board with Norman Clark. This is a bird's eye view, and what we might do is go to the left front suspension, and there's that slight bit of contact, but barely any between the two. That was so lucky between Clark and Douglas. So Douglas sticking it out. He's going to be at the back of the pack, and well, he's going to be struggling for pace now, you've got to say. Ruben Phelps deciding to bring it in. So down towards the back of the pack, not much to lose here for Phelps. So I think Ruben's decided to come in for some fresh boots and see if that can help him in this, well, short run to the flag. We're going to be going to a green-white checker to finish this race. If you're unfamiliar with the term, well, first of all, welcome to Performance E-Streaming. Welcome. Was that just fuel there for Phelps?
I think so. I don't think he took tyres.
No. Okay. So obviously he topped it up not wanting a green-white checker and was just a little bit unsure on the fuel load. If you're new to oval racing and never heard the term green-white checker before, as I said, first of all, welcome to Performance E-Stream, welcome to ANZCAR. But second of all, it effectively adds a couple of extra laps to the race. So it gives us makes us have a green flag finish, as hopefully it can. So we'll get the green flag come out, the white flag will come out, and then the checkered flag will come out. It's just a little bit of overtime, a bit of extension for the race, and just gives us the opportunity to finish under green and give these guys the best chance that they've got to get a decent finish. So, will we see that caution flag fly again, Mark? Will we see them get to the end? Will we see any more drama? We are about to find out in a few short miles, as they will be coming to the line to get another restart. Carol Walden now up on the high line. He has got nothing in front of them. Nobody on old tyres, nobody on slightly worn, slightly new tyres. He has got an opportunity here to try and jump himself up back into the lead. But Urquio will be leading away. Urquio's got the opportunity to jump when he wants to, and that's a key feature for the leader. Into the restart zone they come. Watch out for Micklemore too. Barry Neal sitting back there ready to pounce. When does Urquio drop it? He drops it now, gets away nicely. Nice start for Urquio. Carol Walden getting a little bit loose off the start, and that's given Micklemore the opportunity to move up into second. Carol Walden dropping the spot. That's not what he needed. No contact between Barry Neal and Carol Walden. Where does Carol Walden come back out? Will that bring out the caution? It does indeed. Caution flag is back out.
Wow.
Douglas getting caught up in that one. Sorry, I was trying to furiously click on Carol Walden there, but just missed it. let's see this one again. So, Joshua Carroll-Walden just gets away a little bit slow and just not the start he wanted. And then just goes down, just makes contact with Barry Neal, and around he goes. And I thought he was going to go nose into the wall there, but the truck just carrying enough momentum. He's got the brakes on, trying to slow it down, but it just jumps up into the track. Just misses Jason Martin. Dave Douglas just gets a little bit of a tap, and that sends him round. And that has, well, that has brought it out and brought us to this point. So, we are back under the caution flag. And it's Lachlan Urquio up in the lead, in a solid position at the moment with Barry Neal there. Noddy Tompkins up into 5th position after that as well. So, that's a decent move up the field for Noddy Tompkins.
Chris Finley also a great move up into 6th. Nigel Patton now up into 7th. And Jason Martin up in 8th. And Troy Davidson and Norman Clark round out the top 10. So realistically, Carl, anyone here can win this. And in the background, I'm pretty sure that's Dave Douglas down pit lane.
Yeah, Dave Douglas pulling it into the lane. Looking to get some fresh boots and some of those repairs done. And well, that little fuel stop for Ruben Phelps is not looking too crazy now, considering we've got this second little bit of overtime, and that just helped him extend. And you tend to short fuel these cars. You know, you don't tend to fill them up too much, and you rely a little bit on your sort of crew chief and things like that just to get it right. And I wonder if anybody else is a little bit light on fuel with this second green-white checker coming up, and might need to come in. And Urquio just trying to lure the field into the pit lane, not working though.
I can tell you, Dave Douglas came in and top fuel only, no tyres.
Okay. Wonder if, I'm trying to think back now. I wonder if he's used up his allocation. So pace car lights are out, and we are getting ready to go again here for the Neuropower ANZCAR trucks here on Thursday night for the Thunder Series. For the Thunder racing on Thursday, we bring you the noise here on Performance E-Streaming and in ANZCAR, and we absolutely love it. We are looking forward to seeing you for the rest of the season as well, and bringing you some great races. We've had some good ones from the start, and well, we are getting ready for a grandstand finish here tonight at Phoenix. Who is it going to be? Will we see somebody come back like a Phoenix, or will we see the front runners taking it to the flag? We're going to find out in just a few short miles as they come around to take the green flag and get ready for this next part of the race. Into the restart zone they come, and away they go once more.
Great start, great jump, got a little gap over the rest. Barry Neal fighting down the inside, looking to get into second place over Micklemore. He may do it this time round. No, they're neck and neck down the back straight. Noddy Tompkins in there with a chance now.
Battling it out with Riley Curtis there for 4th position, fighting it out as Micklemore catches the wall. Noddy Tompkins gets sent down. Big impact for Noddy Tompkins, and the white flag is out, so we won't see a caution. That's unfortunate for Noddy Tompkins. It's Lachlan Urquio up at the front, running very well up here. He's in a good position at the moment. Back there, Josh Micklemore and Barry Neal fighting it out, but it is looking like it's going to be Lachlan Urquio coming home to take victory here tonight, and he does indeed. It's victory for Lachlan Urquio. Taking the second victory this season. Lachlan Urquio on fire at the moment.
Yeah, definitely standing up and looking at the man to beat this year. A great race, some great comebacks like Micklemore, nowhere mid race, and now he's back and he's on the podium.
And the 42 of Urquio is going to be celebrating here at Phoenix tonight. They always say the first win is always the hardest, but coming home to take the second victory after Atlanta?
Yeah, Atlanta.
Yep, I remember that completely. Okay, let us take a look at the final race, well, the results for tonight's race. And we will bring that up for you. So it's Lachlan Urquio taking victory here tonight ahead of Barry Neal in second, with Josh Micklemore rounding out the podium in third position. Riley Curtis comes home fourth after a tough race, you've got to say. Nigel Patton brings it home in fifth, working his way up from 15th position, biggest mover and shaker of the race. Chris Finley gets it home for the Sim Boys in P6. P7 is Ruben Phelps having a good recovery drive with Jason Martin just behind him. Joshua Carroll Walden, unlucky for him, down in 9th position after a very strong run in. And Norman Clark rounds out our top 10. It's Dave Douglas coming home in 11th position with Troy Davidson in 12th. 13th for Noddy Tompkins after that. I gotta say, unlucky moment, taking him outside the top 10. Matthew Beale, even, there we go, comes home in 14th position. Brad Fernley comes 15th. Shane Bowen in 16th. 17th for Stevie Dub. Greg Sholton in 18th. 19th for Maxie Marshall. Matt Hunter brings it home in 20th. And Cade Donnelly out in 21st. Seven cautions for tonight, which is not too bad for Phoenix. It's a track that can bring out that yellow flag. 164 laps in total with that extra green or white checker, of course. 5 lead changes and 6 separate leaders. So a good move through the field. Fastest lap goes to JCW. So a very good run here tonight, Mark.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate for JCW. Led a lot of the race. I'd say led 95% of the race, and just getting mixed up in that incident towards the end. But well done to Lockie. He was thereabouts. He was always up the front. In the top 5 most of the race, and he's well deserved race win.
Absolutely, a very, very popular win through the paddock, I am sure, for Lachlan Urquio, who will come home tonight for a second victory this season. It's been a very strong year for him. Well, Mark, we are getting to that stage where we will be bringing our drivers up for a quick chat, of course. But next time we will be heading to Bristol on the 14th of March, so make sure to join us there for another tricky short track, but a very fast track indeed.
Yeah, definitely. Can be some great racing there. We've seen in the past where it's we get a few cautions early or late. The mid race section seems to have settled down, and everyone just calms down and takes big deep breaths, and some good racing to be had.
Absolutely. So,
just waiting on our third place man, Josh Micklemore. give him another minute. He doesn't turn up. Jump straight in with Barry Neal, one of our Kiwi drivers. A man that really knows how to look after tyres. Actually, we might just jump straight in with it, Carl.
Yep.
We'll pull up Mr. Barry Neal. Barry, welcome to the booth, mate, and congratulations on second place.
Yeah, no, thanks. It was a bit of a fraught race, really, wasn't it? Towards the end there, and there's some exciting racing during the race at times. So no, it was good. I was quite surprised. I was mouthing off a bit when that first of the last lot of yellows, because I was quite happy with Josh running off, because Josh, man, he was just in a class of his own all night long, wasn't he? Really, he just ran away with it, and so I was quite happy in third, and then the yellow came out, and then I kind of dropped back to sixth, and I was like, but, yeah, and then there was some dramas. So
yeah, mate, we've seen one little drama between you and fellow Kiwi Ruben Phelps. A little bit of a hip and shoulder to get that spot back from you.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a serve and return, wasn't it? Like, because he did that to me when I had Jason on the outside of me, and he came down and he hit me, and then I think I hit Jason, and Jason went sideways, and Ruben got through, and then I kind of did a very similar kind of move on him another 30 laps later or something. So I think we can call that one even.
Yeah. Well, mate, we've always said Ruben's racing, and yeah, it was a great move. Unfortunately for Ruben, he did get a bit sideways like you did when he got you. But mate, just a great race all round tonight.
Yeah, no, it was a good race, and it's just like Josh should have won that one because he was good, and then I think he was a bit. I don't think he realised I was there towards the end there when Josh kind of pulled up in front of him, and he decided that he was going to get out from underneath Josh. But I was there, and he hit my nose, so that was a bit of a shame for him.
Yeah, it definitely was definitely just a racing incident. That one, there was no malice in that move. Mate, we're off to Bristol next week. Love it, hate it?
Love it. So it's one of those tracks where the first time I raced at ANZCAR, I was like a second and a half off the second to last person, and I hated it. And I've grown to love it over time, and I've got better at it, and yeah, no, I love the short track, and if you can do that if that can go green, they're great races.
Yeah, definitely are, mate. Well, mate, congratulations again on second place. Before we throw you out of the booth here, and we can go home and get some rest, love and shout out to sponsors and supporters, mate.
Yeah, yep. As you boys will be properly pronouncing, Aotearoa Racing.
I'm not even trying.
Yeah, Tony Richards Toyota and MRX Race Sims. Thanks.
All right, mate. Well, we'll see you next week at Bristol. And again, congratulations on second place, and thanks for your time tonight.
Cool. Thanks. See ya.
All right, we're doing this a little bit backwards.
Yes, Josh Mickle was having some trouble with his headphones, so he's managed to get them fixed, luckily. We'll bring the naughty boy up and hope he's got a late note. Welcome to the booth, Josh, and congratulations on third place, mate.
Yeah, cheers, boys. Gotta love computers sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. Mate, look, mid-race you were nowhere. We'd written you off almost. To come back and get third place, that's a great result for you and the team.
Yeah, I written it off too. Yeah, picked up a bit of damage after my spin, and then even more damage after hitting Jason when he got hit at the end. But yeah, managed to just keep the foot in it and hope for the best. Got nothing to lose, obviously. So yeah, did best we could. Didn't really suit my driving style tonight, the setup, but yeah, we were there. It was there or thereabouts in the end.
Yeah, definitely a great result. Mate, we're off to Bristol next week. Love it, hate it?
Yeah, it should be good. It should be alright at Bristol. Yeah, yeah, I enjoy those type of tracks. So yeah, it should be good. Should be good for next week.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, mate. Well, thanks for your time tonight, and again, congratulations on third place. Before we let you go, shout out to sponsors and supporters.
Yeah, so you boys for putting the show on, and all the other drivers tonight. There was some pretty close, hard racing, and obviously the Mitch boys and Leppy Motorsport Concepts.
Beautiful, mate. Well, we'll see you next week at Bristol for another hard-fought battle.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be not very many cars are straight at the end of that one, so it should be fun.
Yeah, definitely can be a bit of a bump and run race.
Yeah, a bit of door banger, mate. Should be good fun.
All right, Josh. Thanks very much for your time tonight, mate, and we'll let you go.
Thank you, boys. See ya.
All right, Carl, you best clear that seat off for a two-time winner this season already. The pilot of the SRM 42 truck, Lachlan Urkleo. Mate, welcome to the booth and congratulations on your second race win this season.
Yeah, I'm a little bit speechless. That was so nerve-wracking, those last 10 laps, but geez, I know how to do it late, don't I? It's 2 races now I've won after the flag, basically. Oh, mate, Jesus, mate, that was nuts.
Mate, a race win's a race win, doesn't matter how you get it.
Yeah. No,
mate, we seen you up front there most of the race. I think the lowest you got down to is
8th.
8th?
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah, I think that's where I started.
It started 6th, you dropped down to 8th position, but you weren't there for long, so...
No, I think it was on like lap 1. I took it a bit easy into turn 1 and dropped back a few, but then I just sort of got right up against that outside wall in turn 1 and ripped round the outside back up to, I think it was 4th at that time, but yeah.
We've seen you just give the outside wall a little love tap every now and then. No damage sustained, or no heavy damage?
No, it was just tagging it with that right rear. Just it was a little bit of Morse code, driving by Morse code. There's a couple of other boys out there doing it. Dave was doing it as well. It wasn't necessarily quicker, but you could just sort of get a bit of a feel for where the back end was and slide it off the corner a bit better.
Yeah, definitely. Lucky to escape some incidents there tonight when you were a little bit further down the field. But mate, great race to drive back. Great race starts at those last 2 green-white checkers.
I was a bit surprised it actually hooked up as well as it did, because I don't know if you guys saw, I took 2 tyres to try and leapfrog JCW, because I knew that the only way I was getting past him is if I got track position from the pit stop. So I don't know, maybe it helped a little bit coming off the bottom with the 2 tyres, but I know that certainly helped when I made that move around Dave and Josh. But yeah, I don't know, I was just kind of just willing and hoping and putting the foot down.
Yeah, well, it definitely worked, those 2 tyres. Mate, next week we're off to Bristol. Love it or hate it?
Another good track of mine. I love all the short tracks. I don't know if I'm the quickest. I think JCW is going to be the benchmark again, but I'll certainly try and crack myself around that top 5, and if I can get a good points all out of that, I'll be quite happy. But yeah, I think JCW is going to be the one to beat next week. So everybody will be hunting him down.
Yeah, definitely. Well, mate, again, thanks for your time tonight. Before we let you go, I'm quite sure you've got a few people that you want to thank and give a shout out to.
Big thanks to Moondog for helping us out this year. He's stayed on board and still keeping us going and looking after us a bit. Obviously, a big shout out to Ruben tonight. He was he was driving really well. He just got a bit stuck out in some of the cautions, but he certainly deserved the top 5 tonight. Shout out to Matty for putting the team together. He couldn't make it tonight, but he's always watching. He's always looking out for us, and he's been a massive help for all of us. And I don't think we'd be where we are without him keeping us all together. So, I know he's out there somewhere at home listening or watching, and big thanks to Matty. And then, of course, you boys putting on the stream, putting together a good race to watch back tomorrow when I'm sitting at Phillip Island at the shop.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Well, again, thanks very much for your time coming up and talking to us again, and congratulations on your second race win here at Phoenix.
Yeah, nice way to win. Nice place to win.
All right, mate. Thanks. We'll let you back down in the others, and we'll wrap the show up.
Cheers.
Well, Carl, one happy man.
Absolutely, and well, you can understand why. Was on pace all night as well. I mean, look, you got to say JCW. He was probably the fastest car out there, and that shows with that fastest lap time, and those laps led as well. But Lockie was not far behind him all night long, putting the pressure on and just keeping himself in that position. And well, those two tyres absolutely paid off in the end and getting him to the line for victory here at Phoenix. Well, if you've enjoyed tonight's race, make sure to head over to Checkered Flag E-Streaming on Saturday, where we will be at Las Vegas, Mark.
Yeah, another 400 mile race there at Vegas for the outlaw slot cars. So some great racing to be had. Already had two great finishes through the start. So looking forward to another great race this week.
Absolutely, and as we said, we'll be back at Dover with the trucks. Of course, there will be the Monday night action coming to you from where are we on Monday?
Martinsville.
Wonderful. So off to Martinsville on Monday. So we will be, if you're looking to get some racing in on that, Nashville Fairgrounds, because we were at Martinsville on Monday night. Yeah, I was pretty sure I raced Martinsville on Monday, and then I had an issue, so it was a night to be forgotten. But we're off to Nashville Fairgrounds next Monday. So if you want to get some racing for all the ANZCAR series, make sure to head on over for that one, because there has been some great stuff in the modifieds. And then we'll be back at Bristol on the 14th of March, and we will see you all there. So, well, from all of us here at Performance E Streaming, as ever, a big thank you for joining us. We could not do it without you. Of course, a big thank you to Mr. Mark the Blue Yeti Johansson tonight for joining us, and a big thank you to his patron for jumping in with a nice new mic as well. You probably noticed he sounded great tonight, sounding even better than me. And of course, to all the birds of Adelaide for making sure to keep themselves loud in the background. I'm as ever Mr. Carl Wilkinson with you, wishing you a great night, and we will see you all next week. Thank you so much for joining us.